They want the illusion that teams are close together. It's not illusion, it's the reality. That's by how the point system works. And this would spread that out. And even if it weren't, what my research was in the past was that it really wasn't that much different in the end. But you pick up the standings and you have 10 teams that are like 5 points apart. That's what they want. That's the idea that even if you're, say, Jersey last night or something, that you're not that far away. With us now on the Western Hotline is someone who knows better than that. That the number of teams in the way is as much the problem, if not more so, than the number of points. Paul Hamilton joins me now. Paul, how are you?
I'm well. How you been?
Okay. We're struggling with the thing that's going around, I guess, in here.
Are you all better?
I'm not. No. I'm sniffling through the show. I think that trying not to make that too obvious, but now I've said it. Well, one thing is there's more people in here now these days. We've got afternoon shows and like more. Not a lot of. You've been in here many times. There's not a lot of room for the air to flow. It's not that kind of situation here. But
and we have folks filming and all sorts of people.
All these people, yes. For all the time I spent complaining that nobody came to work anymore. Now I'm the victim of it. Perhaps my wife was sick too, but I'll be fine. I wasn't well yesterday, and I was not paying attention to Twitter at all. Like I said earlier, after sleeping in the afternoon, I woke up and the game was almost half over last night. What was the timeline on Thompson? Like, when did the Sabres know he would be there? When did you find out?
Well, it seems like they got out of Washington. Some of them, I think, were on charters. I saw some guys getting off planes, like, at night even. Clayton Keller comes to mind. It was still dark out, and looked like he was coming off a charter, in the Utah area or wherever he was getting off at. So now there are a lot of flights from the D.C. area to where Tage Thompson is, the New York area. So I think he probably got out first flight in the morning, or I don't know if there was one late enough. Probably not, because that went pretty long. Although I don't know if the hockey team stayed for the whole thing.
You can fly from D.C. to Newark like every hour, probably, at least.
And he might have gone straight to the airport too. I mean, they introduced them, and I'm not sure. I didn't watch it. I'm not sure if they stayed. It looked like they were in like a stairwell. I did see that part of it, and they may have all left then. If they did, he might have had a chance to get to the airport and get to New York at night. So Ruff, I think once he got to Washington, or maybe even once he got to Miami, did exchange some texts with him. And he said all along, he goes, knowing Tage is going to want to play, and it seems like Tage Thompson did want to get there, and Jack Hughes was able to get there. They might have got there together. Who knows? They could have had a charter that flew the two of them there. I don't know. But they did get there in time. Hughes did not take the morning skate. Thompson did.
Okay. That's what I was wondering.
And so he was out there and did his interview after the morning skate. So, and you know what, Mike? He said he was a little rusty to start. I wouldn't disagree with that. Both teams were rusty to start. What you missed there was a couple of teams that were skating well but were turning the puck over, and two goaltenders kind of had to take over the game for a bit. Both Luukkonen and Jake Allen made some great saves. They were face-to-face with some people and made some great saves in there to keep that game 0-0. And then about maybe 7-8 minutes into the second period, it looked like the Sabres started being the better team. Mm-hmm. It seemed like they snapped out of it a little quicker than New Jersey did. And Thompson snapped out of it. He looked like Thompson. And a guy I want to give credit to is Peyton Krebs. I mean, he's had a lot of time playing in the top six and playing with Thompson because of injuries to Norris and injuries to Benson. And just a lot of injuries, which have, because he plays anywhere in the lineup and put him there. He looks to me like he's got his offensive confidence back, which may be what they thought they had when Vegas thought they had when they drafted him in the first round. But I've noticed a difference. He has like 11 points in 12 games, 5 goals and 6 assists, and I liked both plays from an offensive kind of a slick standpoint where, on the 2-on-1 with Thompson to give Buffalo that 1-0 lead, he put this just little move on that opened up the passing lane to Thompson, who was flying down the middle, and got it to him. And Tage Thompson put a nice move on Allen and scored the goal. And I even liked more what he did after Hughes overskated the puck at the blue line, turned it over to Thompson. Krebs recognized it immediately, and he shot the gap between the forwards and the defense of the Devils, which got him open on the left side. Thompson found him. He turned it. He's the one that produced a 2-on-1 there. He turned it into a 2-on-1, and he had to get the puck up high over Allen to score the goal, and he did it. Popped it up under the crossbar and got the goal to give Buffalo a key goal to make it 2-0. So, it seems like Peyton Krebs is maybe getting a little more comfortable as an offensive player than what we've seen since he's been a Buffalo Sabre.
I like it, and I echo that. I did want to ask on the first goal if you can remember the play in your mind's eye, the Jersey back checker who doesn't quite get to Thompson. I thought he could have. I thought Thompson takes that extra second to move to his left, which opens the net up for him. I don't know. It looked like a bit of a drive-by by the Devil. It was not a playoff overtime situation or anything like that. But man, that's one where if we had seen a Sabre player do that, or maybe you disagree, I would have been like, okay, we can't have that kind of effort.
You know who I saw do that? Was in the gold medal game in overtime, Makar.
Oh, Makar, okay. Yeah.
Makar, Hughes tapped the puck past Makar at the blue line because he stepped up, and he just dogged it back. And you could see him all of a sudden like, uh-oh, and like he picked it up, but he was too far behind. He wasn't going to catch up. And it's like you're gliding. It's like you're watching the play. You could have watched it on TV if you wanted to watch. Well,
I didn't watch this Devils player skate the length of the ice, but when he got into the Devil zone, it was just not. It was weak. I thought maybe you don't remember it the same way. I just thought it was weak.
Well, I didn't notice that, but it's
we'll take it.
Sometimes you get lost in you get caught watching, plain and simply, and. He may have just got caught watching and kind of forgot what he was doing, and all of a sudden it's in the net, and you got a coach screaming at you.
Krebs, who, by the way, leads the Sabres by a good margin in penalty minutes, I'm a fan. I'm with him. A lot of what you said already, and I think he gives the Sabres a feistiness that, they need, they could use, any team could use.
Yeah, you can't just have four lines of goal scorers. The Sabres tried that once. I remember when Tim Connolly was centering the fourth line with two other scorers, and it didn't work at all. It just you have so many, offensive-type players. You do need complementary players, and that's what Krebs is. He can play on any line you want him to play and then fit in with whatever that line's doing. Now, if he's playing with Mallenstein and Dunn, well, he's not going to have the offensive, touch that he has when he's playing with Thompson and Tuck, because he's not going to have the same types of opportunities to do it. But he adjusts his game. He'll play more of what you're talking about, more of a hitting game, more of I'm going to be in your face game. If he's down there with Dunn and Mallenstein, when he's up there with Tuck and Thompson, well, he's a little more nifty. Because he has the ability to be nifty. I love the fact that he can adapt to whatever it might be that he needs to do and whatever line he might be on.
I like it. Yeah, that's a very valuable player to have, a Swiss Army knife type like Krebs, if that's not overdoing it. With Paul Hamilton on the Wester hotline, well, it's the first game back, but the power play looked familiar last night. Is there
I keep reminding people, and it's weird because they've scored a power play goal in 6 out of 7 games. They had scored six games in a row. The problem is they have multiple power plays in this game, and they might go 1 for 4, and the other 3 are horrendous, but they score on one of them, but you remember the other 3 going, oh, geez, they couldn't get the puck in. They didn't even get. They're not competing. They're doing this. They're doing. It's really, really weird. How, and we all just keep saying it. As I said, they've scored a power play goal in 6 out of 7 games, but overall it looks like it's awful because of the other power plays that we're watching intertwined with those. And they're in the middle of the pack. They're, as far as the power play goes. But last night it was nowhere. And I was wondering, because Dahlin, I thought, really ran Sweden's power play very well and produced on Sweden's power play. So I wondered, all right, I wonder how that's going to look on Buffalo's power play when he gets back. And the first taste of it didn't look good at all. I mean, he got knocked down, which turned into a Jesper Bratt breakaway that he wound up shooting over the net. It's the power play last night really, it was as bad could be.
So, Paul, Florida and Tampa again, the next two nights. The Sabres did that right before the Olympic break. I mean, these games in mind, or just in general, it's 24 games to go. They're in a playoff spot, but of course it's very tight. Do they have enough? Now we're shifting into the Olympics are over, and it's the stretch run, a third of the season or thereabouts. The deadline, I think, is next Friday, March 6th, give or take. Okay. So we've asked you this question a number of times, but now we're sort of back in it. What do you think we should be expecting or wanting?
As silly as this may sound, I thought last night was an important game for them because it showed them they could take 3 weeks off and pick it up. Well, they had lost 2 in a row, but basically pick it up right where they left off, and win a hockey game on the road, and against, I don't know if I want to call them a good team this year, but what has been a good team in the past.
Sure.
And, it's you look at the Sabres on the road recently. I mean, they've just been excellent on the road. And one of those wins came against Florida, and they had every opportunity to beat Tampa too the next night, and they weren't able to do it. But they're 13-2-1 in their last 16 road games, and they have 35 points on the road this year. That's 8th in the NHL. That's a big difference in what we've been used to seeing from the Buffalo Sabres. And so, I think they showed, hey, look, we can go on the road still, win a hockey game, play a tight game. We're going to be talking about probably more 2-1 games as we go along here than what we just saw. I wouldn't call last night a playoff game because it was so sloppy, but it was still a 2-1 hockey game. Good goaltending by both teams. I would have made the 2 goaltenders the top 2 stars of that game. And, so we're going to see more. And a lot of people raised their eyebrows. Why was Luukkonen starting? And I think simply, remember when Luukkonen got hurt, they were going back and forth, he and Lyon. They were alternating games. And Lindy Ruff probably thought to himself, well, Luukkonen, what got him started on this role where he's 8-2-1 was the game in New Jersey, a 3-1 win, where he played really well. He hadn't won a road game all year. I think he was like 0-4-2 or 0-4-1, but he had been done well at home. So that was his first road win, and he's been 8-2-1, including that game since. So, all right, you start Luukkonen in New Jersey, and if we recall the Florida game in Florida before the break, Alex Lyon was in net for that one, and he won 5-3. So it only makes sense. Why wouldn't you just go back to it? If you're going to alternate goalies, and, well, you're going to play both goalies in 3 out of 4 anyway, let Luukkonen play in Jersey where he played well. Let Lyon play in Florida, former Florida Panther, where he just won. And then, I doubt it would be Ellis again in Tampa. It would probably be Luukkonen again. And I think they would just keep alternating. Then they come home against Vegas, and you'd have Lyon in net. I think Ruff liked that when he was alternating, and I would be surprised if he doesn't go back to it.
Well, that would have been my next question on Luukkonen, and we've only got about a minute and a half or 2 minutes here. But have you formulated deadline thoughts, like what priority 1 or 2 might be? Or not yet?
For me, it's a defenseman that can take some of these minutes off these top guys. The schedule's just too condensed. They were wearing down, I thought, before the break. They looked fresh yesterday, but 3 out of those 4, the 3 not named Dahlin, should not be playing 23, 24 minutes in this condensed schedule. And I would love to see a defenseman. Tyler Myers didn't play yesterday. He's 36, but you could put him on your third pair and maybe get 18 minutes out of him and help take some of that pressure off 3 of those defensemen. Justin Falk is another one. I like that idea also. He has 1 year left on a $6-point-some-odd million deal. I would like Falk better than Myers, but those are 2 ideas that would take some of the heat off those top 4.
That's a big move. We'll see what happens here in the next week and a half. That's all the time we have before the deadline. This is all the time you and I have for today. Thanks for joining me, Paul.
Not a problem. Anytime.